Our tributes pouring in after the passing of civil rights icon Jesse Jackson. He died yesterday at the age of 84. Joining us now to talk about his legacy, public advocate Shane Harris. Good morning and thank you for being here today.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
You had a friendship with Reverend Jackson.
I did. More like a mentorship, mentee relationship, because he's, well into, he was well far ahead of me in age. And so the relationship that we had started in 2016. I met him at a national conference. I was very involved with national civil rights organizations and did a lot of work, coming into as a young activist into the national civil rights movement. And I met him at a conference, and I'll never forget, he put his, arm around me, and he said, "Young man," he said, find your voice in the movement. And that really stuck with me, because he understood the importance of, I think when you're young and you're, you don't have any, your parents maybe passed away and you were very young, you emulate, the older men in your speech and in your talking and in your activism. And he was trying to tell me, find your voice, find your path.
I'm sure you've had many experiences with him as you sit back and you think about the journey that you had. You marched with him several times. What would be one moment that really stood out for you? So
in 2024, I was in Washington, D.C. In congressional meetings, and I'm walking the halls of Congress, and Reverend Jackson is also walking the halls of Congress, or he was in a stroller and a wheelchair at the time, and his son, who's a congressman, was rolling him through, and Reverend Jackson remembered who I was, and he said, he said, "Come on, come with us." So here we are walking the halls of Congress, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a congresswoman, comes up to Reverend Jackson, just really honored, to meet you. This is just, you're an amazing figure in history. And Reverend Jackson kind of does this pivot where he says, and he kind of can make out, he was sick at the time, so it was starting, he couldn't really make out the full amount of what he was saying. Right. But he pointed at AOC and me and he said, "It's you guys, it's on you guys now." Oh. And I think that that was who he was. He was a gentle giant who understood that his time was gonna come, and it did yesterday. And that the next generation needed to be inspired, the future needed to be inspired, that it's now on them, it's on you to take up the mantle of equality, opportunity, justice, and fairness in this country, and it's on us. Is that what you think his legacy is, or he would have wanted his legacy to be what you just said? I think so, and more. I mean, I think people forget Reverend Jackson's historic presidential campaigns. In 1984, he came back in 1988 when he ran for president the second time, and he had registered a tremendous amount of voters across the country. I mean, 6.4 million votes. He almost secured the Democratic nomination. I believe he came in second place. And so people forget, I think, that this is someone who is not just central to the fight for civil rights and social justice, but is central to the fight to ensure people understood that their vote was their voice. And it was someone who understood that the democratic process meant that you had to engage all people from different backgrounds. And this is someone who marched with Dr. King, who worked with Dr. King, but took up the mantle to continue his mission, ran for president. And I know a lot of people don't understand, but there would be no Barack Obama without a Reverend Jesse Jackson. What he did in the 1984 and 1988 presidential campaigns will go down in history as one of the greatest setups for the first African-American president of the United States. And you want San Diego to also remember him locally, so what have you asked for? What's happening? So I did ask yesterday immediately, early in the morning, I requested that the county building would be lit in rainbow colors to honor the organization that Reverend Jackson founded, Operation or Rainbow Push Coalition, the historic Rainbow Push Coalition based in Chicago. And I also asked for flags to be lowered at half-mast. And I'm proud to say today, because of my partnership with Supervisor Joel Anderson, who texted immediately, who said, "We will honor this request. This is important to us." We are lowering the flags today at half-mast. And so county flags will lower, and then tonight the building will be lit in rainbow colors to honor Reverend Jackson's civil rights organization, Rainbow Push. And to really symbolize what Reverend Jackson often talked about, keep hope alive. Keeping hope alive means that you've got to bring everyone together. Everyone may have come from different backgrounds, different races, but he understood that he would talk to people even that he might have ideologically disagreed with or had differences with. And that was everyone from Donald Trump to George Bush to Barack Obama. He understood the context of talking to everyone.
An absolute inspiration to many. Shane Harris, we appreciate you.
And I want to add, in the coming days, we will have a San Diego salute to Reverend Jesse Jackson in the Black Arts and Culture District. I'm breaking that for you on Fox 5 right now.
Thank you for